For the past few weeks, we've been watching the comment sections on our Outriders videos, and we've seen the same types of thing pop up. This isn't going to last more than a month. This is just a Destiny ripoff, and my absolute favorite, you guys are shilling hard for a game, how much are they paying you? And honestly, I thought it was time we unpacked some of that. Hey there friends, my name is Kodiak, and today we're heading to Enoch and breaking down some of the key reasons, the actual reasons, to be hyped for Outriders. Alright, so let's get this one straight right now. Legacy Gaming isn't being paid by Outriders, the developers People Can Fly, or the publishers of the game, Square Enix. The Outriders Ambassador program is a collection of over 100 content creators, big and small, and the idea was to bring enough people together early on to check out the game, talk to the developers directly, and deliver some compelling content at launch to hopefully get this game on people's radar. Now, many of you know that early access is a big deal for streamers and content creators, especially channels like ours, where we only do YouTube part-time. Outriders was a bit different in that you had to apply to be an ambassador and get accepted into the program. There's no contracts, no legal obligations to say the game is good, but I think a lot of people applied because they believe in what the developers are trying to do, and that's really the first point I want to drive home. We've talked about other big games alongside Outriders, like Destiny, Borderlands, The Division, and yes, even Anthem, and while I know there are mixed feelings about all of those games, there's one clear difference with Outriders, and that's transparency. Whether it be on the game's YouTube channel or on the Outriders subreddit, you'll see more content, more questions answered, and more feedback acknowledged than most games in the modern era. One of my favorite posts on the subreddit is a compilation of dev responses to community questions. Shout out to SimPhilosophy for putting that together, because not only do we know information about major systems like how the 4 classes work, but we also know a lot about the intricate details that link gameplay systems together, like how bonuses are determined on gear found in the world. Ahead of an anticipated launch, that's pretty uncommon. Outriders is putting a lot of their cards on the table, opting for a more transparent release, and the biggest sign that they're committed to their game and believe it's going to be a hit is a full-blown demo launching on February 25th. No strings attached, no pre-orders necessary. When was the last time a game like Borderlands or Destiny did that? The answer is never. Not only are ambassadors going to get to check out the game firsthand, but millions of people across the world will too as well, and make their own determinations if Outriders is worth spending money on 2 months later when it officially launches. If that's not confidence in your game, I don't know what is. Another comment we saw pop up a lot in our feeds had to do with comparing Outriders to other games, and honestly at this point it's pretty hard not to compare any game to any other game. Rarely do new titles break out of the mold so much that it's impossible to find another game to compare it to, and Outriders is no different. After all, gaming as a whole is a completely iterative process year after year. I'll be honest with you, Outriders isn't doing anything remarkable to shake up the genre, but what they are trying to do is take the best bits of various games and ideas and make them all perfect, and that is an admirable challenge in and of itself. Remember, People Can Fly have experience with both first-person shooters and third-person shooters, and have delivered well-received games in both genres. Does that mean Outriders is guaranteed to be a hit? Absolutely not, but you can't deny that experience plays a big part in creating a successful game. When it comes to the gameplay, Outriders features things like seamless drop-in, drop-out multiplayer across all platforms, a skill tree that lets you respec and redesign your class at any point for no cost, and a flexible crafting system that allows players to tailor a unique experience by making almost every aspect of your weapons and abilities customizable. These are just 3 of the things that make me believe in the game, and we're not just talking about concepts here, we have literally seen every major system in action through gameplay and live streams. Sure, we get the occasional highly produced trailer that's clearly designed to wow and woo potential players, but there's also the substance to back that up. If you want answers to the questions you have about the game, you can almost always find an answer somewhere in a video or a Reddit post. Does it require a bit of digging? Sure, but that's more than I can say for some of the other hyped titles a few months before launch. Now, that's not to say Outriders isn't without its faults. There are some omissions in the base game that are a major sticking point for many in the community, the first being a dedicated way to communicate in-game. Outriders doesn't feature in-game comms or even a way to type to other players. This becomes a big issue when you consider that crossplay is a huge selling point for the game. Experiencing something in co-op is much less rewarding if you can't communicate effectively with your team, and the developers know this. They wrote a lengthy post on Reddit addressing this issue and brought up a number of key points regarding feature creep, the idea that you just keep adding one or two things into the mix until you're overwhelmed, the inherent issue with toxicity, which the team just isn't equipped to deal with when it comes to moderating, and the issues with adding new features at this point in development, and how that would have an impact on the game's release date. But without any way to communicate the ability to sync up on a private Discord server or through some other service, things become that much harder. There will be dedicated places on the Outriders official Discord server to group up and chat, which may be your best way to communicate, but that's still going to be a roadblock for a lot of people. Other things like a dedicated camera feature and transmog aren't part of the overall plan either, and that does seem like a shame considering it's a third-person game with a ton of armor and weapons. These features aren't make or break for many, but there are sure to be a few that pass on the chance to buy Outriders because of it. The game may be missing some key features people have grown accustomed to in the modern era, but it's not trying to hide that fact through flashy marketing and a lack of communication. Think back. How many games have you purchased or even pre-ordered because the spin or overproduced trailer that sold you a bill of goods couldn't back it up with gameplay? Probably one or two. Now look at Outriders and specifically the live streams and gameplay showcases already released that allow players the total freedom to check out major facets of the game. Not small tailor-made demos, but full-blown chunks of combat, crafting, and exploration. The writing is on the wall. It's now just up to the developers to make sure the game is bug-free and ready to play day one, just like they promised. I know we've heard that before, but I honestly believe things will be different this time around, which is why I'm making the video. I don't think Outriders is going to be a Destiny killer or a Borderlands killer or an Anthem killer. Well, they kind of did that one themselves. But what I do think Outriders will deliver on is a solid start-to-finish experience in a completely new world with polished systems and no bullshit. Outriders won't be a live service game, it won't feature a store or microtransactions, and in 2021, especially after covering Assassin's Creed Valhalla and dealing with the way Ubisoft treats its player base, that is a breath of fresh air. Outriders will live and die based on two things, its gameplay and its systems, and that's exactly how it should be. We've seen this model work before. Remnant from the Ashes is a great parallel to draw because its business model is really similar, and while its gameplay is uniquely different, we've seen that a no-frills action shooter can be done successfully without the added baggage of trying to suck every dollar from players along the way. Outriders isn't going to change the genre forever, of that I'm certain, but I do think it'll be a successful game that proves a fleshed out experience is always going to top a hyped up mega game that's lacking in content. At the end of the day, I hope this video helped open a few more eyes when it comes to the hype surrounding Outriders, but if you don't want to believe me, check out the demo. You've got nothing to lose, and if you like the game, you get to bring over your save files into the official release on April 1st. That's not a bad deal. If you are excited about Outriders and are looking forward to more videos, more guides, more boss kills, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Livin and I have a lot planned and we would love the support. You can also join Legacy Gaming on Discord. We've got a great community of around 6,000 members with a dedicated section for Outriders, so if you want to be the first to know what's going on with our channel and our content, check out that link below. My name is Kodiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.